I cannot escape my journey at all. These lessons that I've learned, I always pull on them.
This is my first time ever filming in Jamaica, and it's the one thing I've always wanted to do. I get to honor my grandparents through my work.
There's something about Jamaican people, you know. There's a pulse with us.
I feel like our creativity is probably our greatest export. This is the Great National Gallery of Jamaica. This is our art institution, home of Jamaican visual art. It's such an amazing collection that the gallery has. My parents were very creative. I was encouraged just to be creative. I definitely express my art in different ways. Photography, of course, but also music and sculpture and painting. Yeah, so this is Joshua. That's the name of the young man, and it's Chikim. And I did a whole shoot, many images of this young brethren here. Something about the details of this and the connectedness / attachment. It feels like the hand flows, but they're different scales, different sizes. We're kind of thinking about the details of him, you know what I mean? The pores, the shapes, it's almost like topography in a way, you know, because there's this, it's over a river directly down a valley. I mean, the chicken is obviously just studying. It's alive, by the way. It just looks like it's sleeping, in case anyone was wondering. I've dreamt about this, you know, from I was a little youth. Always wanting to be in this type of space, you know what I mean? As much as cinema, film, TV, this is what I'm doing in a large way. I've been dreaming about. It was originally, this was the dream. It was like my work on a whiteboard. In a way, it was like, pay attention to this, because I always thought it was worthy of paying attention to. I feel like as a Jamaican, as a country that has such a strong name and presence, you're always gonna get expectations. People are gonna perceive things before you do it. I'm always gonna be doing something you don't expect because you kind of have this set idea of what we are. It's always gonna be a surprise. There's always an opportunity for discovery. There's moments in the show I talk about it all the time. I'm like, you know, this is a moment of discovery where people are gonna see stuff they've never seen before, and it's gonna broaden their horizons. That's why this scene is important. That's why this detail of this thing is important. You know, John Canoe, Nine Night, Obiam, the history of the rebels, you know what I mean? Showing them through a lens and through a gaze that is of them, from them, wanting to see them here.
Wow! The good old Ward Theater. This is where it all started for me, right here. So this is where the pantomime opened every Boxing Day since 1951. But I didn't open 1951, obviously. Downtown Kingston, we have some vendors that used to be at the corner there. Before we opened on Boxing Day, we had rehearsals down here. And we would go and buy roast corn and coconut, or we would go down to the arcade and buy our costumes, jewelry, shoes, whatever we needed for props. And you can see it is obviously under restoration. The structure needed a lot of work. And so the pantomime had to move uptown. The dressing rooms were all the way in the back upstairs, but there was a section over here we could see from upstairs, like downstairs, or we could see in the foyer to see people coming in. For me, being an actor, if it wasn't for a space like this to be in, to understand, I did not go to theater school or film school. This is where my school was, see here. This was school for me. A lot of talents like myself, whether it is on stage or technical, this is our school. And so it's important to restore this so that other generations coming up can have a school like this. It's not formal, but this for me is where it's all at.
We are in Franklin Town Church of God. Kingston 16, Jamaica. Within the cities, they call it the inner city, you know what I mean? This is where I grew up and this is the church that I attended. This church was really focused on the arts. All the other churches, they were trying their best to top us, but Franklin Town had a secret weapon. They had Sheldon Shepherd. You know what I mean? Before I performed anywhere else, Franklin Town Church of God gave me a stage. The intimacy of this stage allowed me to feel free to express, but the grand celebrations that we usually do, the cantatas, you know what I mean? That gave me the idea of the major lights and the major stages and so on. I guess I found something that I could identify with and that I could feel confident to express myself in.
We are at my grandparents' land. We always had really beautiful flowers all over the property. Look at this house. Everything seems so small. It's beautiful though. Oh my gosh. This was always kind of scary also to think that we could fall off, but like now I'm like, wow, that's like literally a hop, skip, and a jump. I was here really early on because they felt it was the best environment for me to grow up in. And they're right, because this is what created the imagination that I now have for acting, and like everything was done here because there was no electricity at the time. There's electricity now, but like there wasn't that then. There was no TV. We had to entertain ourselves. My grandmother would paint a black chalkboard. They made you know how we have chalkboard paint?
Yeah.
They didn't have it then, so they made it themselves. And so we would have our chalk, and this is where we would do our homework. She was a jack of all trades, but like she took on so many different professions. She was the nurse. She was the teacher. She was everything. This is the smokehouse. So anytime that any of the animals were sacrificed for our food, they would have it in there smoking out. So we would have a plethora of food for as long as we need to. So that's why we didn't always have to keep killing animals, because it was just enough for when we need it. And depending on the season as well and the harvest, it's very important that you preserve the land by not taking from it often. You know, we live in this ecosystem, right? Oh, you can see a little bit inside. There is pots and pans that look like my grandmother's. Oh, wow. My grandmother passed in 2008, and she had her 9 night. Here, you celebrate the dead for 9 nights so that their spirit can move on to the ancestral realm peacefully. And because if you don't do that for them, they remain with us and unsettled, right? So, like, we had a whole band. Up here. It was a big party, so there was a whole band all in here. Me and my cousins, everybody, my mom, my uncles, my aunts, we were all in here, all around. And everybody kind of sleeps here too. They just find a spot and it's literally a big sleepover. Look at this view that I grew up with. It was everything. Knowing the land from a very young age has always been allowed me to connect to characters, especially Black characters, because it's ancestral work. You can't work without that spiritual realm in your work. So then you don't know what you're doing it for. You know, it takes you away from the commerce of it all and brings you into what actually helps to change people's lives. My grandparents' items that they harvested from the farm was brought to this market right here. Hello. Wow.
Yes, sir.
They look so good. Look at all of this. Look at the color of that. And then how much is this?
600, 13, 15.
All together? I have 13. Is that all right? You're a sweetheart. Notice how I go into my Jamaican patois when I'm in market. I have to relate because I am not an other. I'm with the people.
We're gonna go by Franklin Avenue, and we're gonna see one of my father's murals, and also the house where I grew up. That house, you see where that little young man is sitting on the fence right there? That is where I grew up. You see them? So different people living out. But this is it. Myself and my mother and my father and my older brother and my baby brother, we used to live in that one room. My grandmother, my aunts and all of them people. There's just one room, but there's a lot of us in the rooms. We used to take showers over this gutter right here. We used to have a pan where we catch the water, we put it in the pan. Come true, Ryder. Bless it. Yeah, man. You know it. Love and respect every time. Blessed love. I mean, same one, man. I don't know nobody else. Doing the same thing we always do. I don't need to hide from the camera. All is well?
Yeah, man. Blessed.
Enough respect.
Yeah, man.
There, see? Up full. Daddy do that one over there up on the wall. This is one of my favorite. I think it needs some work now, but yeah, you can't keep a good woman down. He never taught me. He would tell you that he never taught me dub poetry, but as a child, you know, children live what they learn, so I gravitated to this fun thing that my father was doing. Poetry, word structured in feeling. Dub, musical style originated in Jamaica. Dub music, poetic music in the way that it's made, feels like poetry expressing herself as music. We impress mortal minds with logic, be the living proof of truth. Feast at resounding table, sleep with harmony, she needs no husband, pack for children. Never read their favorite poet rereading Louise Bennett. Pack for children. Never read their favorite poet rereading Louise Bennett. Dub poetry whispered in my ear, I don't think they love me. They're not calling my name, they're not singing songs about me. Was it something I said when I reflected and read? Is it about this poem, Sonny's letter, Jean Binta, oh Zephaniah? Writing these tears so I always remember Mikey Smith, stony uphill climb, foraging same time, defending thine genre, whispers louder, D-U-B-P-O-E-T-R-Y, spelling now, dub, po-e-try. Po-e-try. Kisses teeth. Pauses. Conclusion. Something try, something done. I'm going to use this gift that myself and my father share, that he gave to me pretty much, and I'm going to use this gift and show Daddy that he had everything he needed in the first place. My father is very proud of me these days.
Little Theatre, home of the National Pantomime, where it all started for me. Yeah. But most of my journey really happened here, because I did 4 downtown, and the remaining 6 I did here. I have a production company in Jamaica. When I started that company, we started doing stage production. I've done 5 stage plays. The first 2 plays I did in Montego Bay, opening night, no one came. It was just me and my stage manager, and the show must go on. And that's why I pivoted into film and casting and talent management, because people recognize me from stage, and you know, I've been in Montego Bay or in Kingston, and people say, hey, I know you. I have a child who wants to act, you know, you can help them act for me. You know, so me always want to write, you can help me. And so I say, oh, there's a niche here. We see music, we see Bob Marley, we see Usain Bolt, you know, dancehall is really, you know, taking a rise now, but we don't see this part. We don't see theater. We're seeing now film, obviously, but we don't see theater. We don't see the drumming, and we don't see the dancing, and we see the Gary and the Kumina, and you know, you should see some of these kids at JCDC performing poetry and dub poetry. Amazing, amazing. The world needs to see that.
There is a willingness to be risky. We have traditionalists, but you always gonna have them people coming through pushing out the sides. We have the intuitive artists, the self-taught artists who just made art not like on no methodology that was practiced. They developed their own styles. They felt compelled to do it, and they made some of the greatest art that's ever made in the country, you know? I think when Jamaicans are so rebellious, like finding a system that kind of gonna hold you and tell you how to communicate, we're always gonna push against that. It's intrinsic in us. It's been a while since I've been in here, but I have been in here many times. This is like living history right here, man, you know? These colonial paintings and the power dynamics, like the servant and the master dynamic and the bowing and the reinforcing of that all the time. But then looking at the absolute, like, tropical, lush, rich paradise. And again, it's like the horror and the beauty and the richness of the place. There's always a reminder of that, you know what I mean? There's such a broad range of like culture, space, urban, country, vegetation, like fruits, plants. Such a rich, life-sustaining place. And when you think about some of the things that have happened in the place, again, it's just always this, you know, this sweet and this bitterness that's always at play, you know?
This is my first time ever filming in Jamaica, and it's the one thing I've always wanted to do. And it's heavy. It's a heavy feeling because it makes me feel so vulnerable, grounded, grateful. And I get to honor my grandparents through my work and being at their home, the home that they made a home for me. It's the beginning of everything. So I thank them for my career because I always had something to draw on. It's a lot of firsts for a lot of people on this particular project. And it's the biggest thing some Jamaicans are even experiencing, which is amazing to be able to give Jamaicans work so that they can be seen globally.
It's just a certain amount of pressure that creates a need to shout, a need to say something, a need to refine your message and have impact with it. As much as our stories are local and have local context, they've always been a global message behind it.
I'm pretty much concerned about the moral takeaway from whatever projects I do. Do positive and positive will find you. Do upful vibrations and upful vibrations will find you.
As cliche as it may sound, just never stop believing.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. Me, this little girl that got the opportunity to do big, big things in the world. So yeah, it's a pretty big deal.